Let's get started.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live. Yo,
Let's get down to business.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
All right.
for the underground world, every street and borough.
You may learn something.
You are now listening to the Joe Rogan Experience with Chico, Simon, Kamar, and your host, Matt Floyd.
Welcome to, to the Joe Rogan Experience. My name is Matt Floyd, joined as always by Kamar
Welcome to the party.
and Simon.
Hello.
What we do here is very simple. The three of us have listened to every episode of the Joe Rogan Experience this week. We're going to rate each episode as well as the week on a scale of 1 to 5 Jamie Vernon's. We're then going to talk about each guest, the talking points, give our opinions, this, that, and the next. First, Kamar is going to read off some new patrons.
Yes, I am. Hello, new listeners and old listeners alike. This is my favorite of the week, and I want to give a big shout out to Credence SC. Credence.
What up,
SC.
Credence?
Welcome.
And thank you to all the patrons. And for that, Credence, now you get all the backlog of the This Won't Age Well and the post show, which we record directly after the regular show. Enjoy. You've earned it.
How was everyone's week?
I did a couple of shows. Went up to our friend's land and did some mushrooms. Shot a sniper rifle at some thermite. You know that thing?
And you made it explode?
I did not. I missed.
Gotta hit it.
But the coolest part of the whole thing, at one point I shot the gun. You really got to wear pelters.
That's what you idiots are doing up there. You're firing sniper rifles into thermite.
I had never known it was done, but it was done this time. But it's like a little jar, just like you'd get weed in. 500 yards away or whatever. And
I don't think you should be saying this.
he took the lid off the jar.
Wow.
It was sort of cool, and it did not explode.
I'm not certain you're supposed to have thermite.
Yeah, I don't know if you're supposed to use it for that reason, but you're allowed to have thermite. It's contractor grade. Anyways, up in the woods, happy belated Canada Day, and it was just not the same as it's ever been. As I don't know if it'll ever be the same ever anywhere.
What a weird Canada Day, man.
Well, we got around to saying that Canada Day has been weird ever since that guy killed the guy at the war memorial and rushed the Parliament buildings. Because after the Canada Day after that, they started the gates on the hill, and it's been like that ever since. And it just is a coincidence that it's ever since Trudeau became prime minister. But that was just a loose conspiracy theory. But yeah, I don't think it'll ever be like it was when we were kids ever again. It'll be a new form and fun in some way, but not what we remember.
It's just weird now that, like, the Canadian flag has become something negative. Just the whole, it's all very weird.
It was less weird when I went up to the land and found out that there's rifts up there now. I think you're the one who told me about it.
Yeah, I did tell you about it. Yeah.
And you think of all the places things
Of
could work
all
out.
the places.
So it was, what's that called? Demoralizing.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Anyways.
Simon.
My week was fine. I've been listening a little bit to Schultze's show, and I've listened to it.
Shells. No T.
Flagrant?
Schultze. Yeah, Flagrant 2.
Yeah.
It's not 2 anymore. And a little bit of Logan Paul's.
Impulsive.
Yeah. First of all,
You've
who
been
is
listening to Impulsive?
watching it? Is that what you mean?
Whatever, sure.
Yeah. Do you know that show?
Inline or online?
Who is that Mike guy?
Mike Malik.
Yeah, who's Mike Malik?
Some guy along the way reached out and was really grounded, and I guess was able to call Logan out, so he seemed like a good person to have around. You know what I mean?
And now they're just buddies, but was he famous or
no,
something?
No, he's used this whole platform to start his own thing, and
So yes, he's famous.
No,
famous
but
now.
through Impulsive, he wasn't like
No, he
an
just
internet guy or
I can tell he was behind the scenes, and then when the podcast started, that's when we started. They released a book. Apparently, he's an ex-drug addict and is just.
anyways, whoever is getting Joe's guests could do with they need a switch.
You think they recycle a lot of guests as well?
No, they're getting like, who did I see on the guy from the Shark Tank there?
Kevin O'Leary.
Yeah, like what a great interview that was.
Oh.
And the fact that I have to see that on Logan Paul's show, like that's such an interesting interview.
You're saying the interviews are out there, just Joe's
They're out
Man,
there.
Joe doesn't do
Tom
this.
Papa.
Joe
or,
is not
Mike
looking.
Baker.
He is just recycling people over and over. But there are good interviews out there. First of all, Logan Paul would be a great interview.
Well, Logan's not ready, as he said.
Whatever. Anyways,
Yeah.
and then who else did? And then Schulz. Oh, I watched on both of their podcasts actually.
Adam Troy too.
Adam 22. That was a great episode.
Mm-hmm.
No, Portnoy, which was terrific. Like there are just people out
Well,
there.
Matt's
man.
been saying that for 3 years.
Yes, Matt has been saying that for 3 years, but a little bit outside of Joe's purview, like a tiny little bit outside. And I see what he's trying to do with parks and recreations there or whatever.
What Joe's intentions are, you think?
Yeah, like that hang, as he calls it, but like on Schulz's
It's the
show,
same. It's the same thing.
and on Impulsive, you can tell they're just having a fucking fun ass time. You know what I mean? It just really seems like a fun time, and that translates to the person listening, and that is what's lost most of the time on Joe's show. Because even when he has a comedian on, it's just so, which is weird because those are big platforms too. You know, it's anyways.
The success definitely helps them have a good time. I interesting story about Schultz, but I'll save that for the post, Joe.
Nice bait and switch or whatever they call it. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Just, you know,
You've been watching shows.
yeah, my wife got that Sundance.
A new channel.
A new channel has a bunch of fucking murder
all
documentaries.
stuff that
on it.
won at Sundance, probably.
Probably, but yeah, the docs are just crazy fucking stories of murder out there, man.
All murder.
All murder. Well, no, they have other stuff. But
Sports
she just
docs are always
watches
good, too.
murder. Oh, I watched a great 30 for 30. Have you seen the competitive eating one? Where it's, you know, there's
The
the
Nathan's hot dog.
yeah, the Chinese guy there or Asian guy,
And Joey something.
Kobayashi. I
Joey
think that-
Coco or something.
And yeah, and then the Joey guy, it's like their story of it's very interesting. It was good. And those are so well done, those 30 for 30s.
Did it say who invented the water with the hot dog?
That is the grossest part.
sick.
I can tolerate everything else, the hot dogs anyways, but the dunking of the buns is so fucking gross. But some of the other competitive eating, like I guess in the 2000s or whatever, when it got like uber popular, they had like competitions where you would do multiple different eating challenges, and one of them was like turkey. It's so gross, man.
But-
Watching them
but-
stuff their face
but it-
off the bone with the turkey.
Is it still like a competitive event where they're beside each other, or is it just
It's,
now? that
yeah, 5
food-
people
oh,
or
God.
whatever.
Yeah, that's too much watching people go out like that. Even one person's a lot.
Yeah, anyways. Very, very interesting documentary. I like those like weird fucking fringe sport documentaries.
No politics.
No politics.
I mean, I like watching stuff now that has nothing. There's no slant on it.
Oh yeah.
It's just about the people,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
stories.
Gotcha. That's it.
If you want a good 30 for 30, you should watch the Steve Bartman one.
He's the guy who caught the baseball, right? Yeah,
I've seen that one. Yeah, it's amazing.
Excellent.
That's a crazy fucking story. Like
just shows to go you too.
Insane.
That he might have been like early cancel culture.
yeah, I mean the very first doxing, really. Like I guess he was already out there.
It's almost worse than cancel culture, though. Guy had to move out of his city. He was like a diehard Cubs fan.
Well, or more the danger of the mob, and just
Yeah.
once it gets its way.
And just the people who turned on him too, like every single person would have tried to catch that ball. It is natural reaction. You know what I'm saying?
They were also up in that game at that point, and they were up in the series.
it could
So
not
it's
have actually
like,
lost the game.
Well, that's
yeah, like they then went and shot the bed themselves as a team, but everyone
Like,
blamed this
that's
poor
over.
fucking
in that
schmuck.
Portnoy episode of I don't remember. I think it was Schultz. They asked him like, "What was your biggest bet you ever made?" And he's like, "I don't know, 500,000, whatever it was. I don't remember." And he's like, "Yeah, I lost it, and I blame this guy." And they're like, "What do you mean you blame that guy?" He's like, "He changed the mood of the room."
Yeah, well, you don't watch his
I don't. Yeah, no.
like they have live streams where they
Well, he said they were at like a bar or a party or something while it was going on, and the guy did something that like changed the. He's like, and that was the one I lost, and
It's
I
also,
fucking hold grudges. And then he started talking about his grudges, how he has a bottle of champagne with everybody's name on it that he holds a grudge against. So when they go down, he drinks the bottle of champagne. It's just fucking hilarious.
dude, he fired an intern for not giving him and Big Cat the guy's picks.
What do you mean?
He was like, "Yeah, I'm on like they're all live betting, right? They watch the games and they bet." And Portnoy was like on a bad losing streak, and this guy was like quietly like amped, and he's like, "What's this guy happy about?" And he's like, "Oh, I hit the." He's like talking about how he's hit a couple of things, and he's like, "Why are you hitting?" And he's like, "Why aren't you giving us these?" He's like, "Oh, I got a guy and an in," and he's like, "Do you know how much I bet?" He's like, "What are you betting?"
Meanwhile, he's just betting against Portnoy. Like everything he bets,
who
he bets
knows?
the opposite.
I mean, Dave he bets a lot. Like I remember one college basketball day, he bet 10 grand on every single game, the under. And he got slapped that day.
It feels like that breaks even though sometimes, at least.
Well, it's supposed to.
Yeah.
I can't believe how little I knew about Barstool Sports, though. Like, just as an entity, I had zero idea
big.
of the backstory, how it came about, any of that.
It's so respectable.
The come
Like
up.
he's built it with his own hands. It wasn't like this.
The whole thing is
dumb
crazy,
luck
man.
sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of dumb luck
Well,
to
there
it.
is, but if you're not involved in it,
like, you
it's
have
like-
to make your own luck at some point. Like, if you're not putting yourself in the, you're gonna miss 100% of the shots you never take.
And so your only
And he was ugly.
impression of him was
Sorry,
I said, and he was ugly.
he's not ugly.
He was ugly.
Was ugly.
you can't shit
Fat
on the tribe.
Dave. Yeah, go YouTube Fat Dave Portnoy.
Oh, he was fat. I
They've
see.
made a bunch of videos. Like Barstool themselves have made a bunch of videos about how
Did
Dave
you have
used to
any
be.
opinion of Barstool? Did you think it was way broier and sort of
No,
gross
I
before you-
I literally thought it was a sports network. I didn't realize like it. I just had no idea.
Have you seen any of the Caleb stuff? I forget his last name.
No.
Presley?
Caleb Presley.
I don't know what that is.
Hold off. It's just something to add to it. And I mean, that's where McAfee comes from. It's big.
Yeah. So is McAfee still on Barstool? No,
He
he's
has
now on his
He's
own.
his own.
He had,
Is
he had to
there-
spread his wings.
There's no beef there.
No. He loves Dave.
That's
he has
cool,
nothing but
man.
nice
When you
things
make
to say.
$100 million, I mean, Dave obviously has his champagne bottles, but I think anything is forgiven at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
When you sign the big bag.
Anyways, yeah, that was.
Well, that's yeah. How could Dave listen when someone leaves and they hit it big? You got to give them their kudos, right?
Yeah.
Like someone leaves and does nothing, you can be like, "Oh, look at you!" you
Well,
fucking
in
idiot."
that interview, Dave said the number one thing I hold is trust. That's what he wants, and he doesn't like these. Like, he knows there are people who are using Barstool as like a stepping stone, and then other people who are want to build the company. How long was what's his name there for?
McAfee, yeah,
Yeah.
but he also brought he was already an NFL player, so it's a different like relationship.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if I
He
go-
was already
if
famous.
Barstool
if I
acquired
Matt-
him. They didn't make him.
Yeah, if I Matt Floyd go to work at Barstool right now, and then a year later I'm like, fuck this, I'm going to start my own thing. I've obviously used Barstool as a stepping stone, whereas
Well, you're bringing over the JRE.
yeah.
Audience
Oh
with
yeah,
you.
that's
I,
true.
I
That's
think
substantial.
the whole way the transparency of how that Collar Daddy thing went down really demonstrated how he does business and what he thinks.
That's a hilarious story too. How they don't go on, and then he goes on to their feed.
Well, it's his feed. At the time.
I got it. It's all very funny.
You guys enjoying the first week of summer? I mean, it's been 2 weeks of summer now.
Mm-hmm.
But 60 days and it's over, so make the best of it. I hope everyone out there is having a good summer.
That's how quickly summer goes. 60 days.
It's not 60 days. It's longer than that.
Yeah.
Either way, I get his point. It's not very long.
Nope. Be over in a flash. You want to go over the list of guests there, Kamar?
Love to. Short week. I guess Joe's still on vacation. We know where now.
Where?
Hawaii. We were just talking about it. 1837, Gina Carano back from the grave. Then there was a MMA with Eric Anders, which we don't do. And then it finished with, I didn't think it was that long since we last on, but 1838, Brian Simpson.
The new Tom Papa.
I like him more than Tom.
The black Tom Papa.
I don't hate Tom Papa so much. It was just that he was on
Frequency.
too much,
I don't hate Tom Papa at all.
The bread.
Like, there are way worse guests than Tom Papa.
This may be some sort of quota Joe has to fill.
I give it the week a 2. And I think I'm being about as generous as I'm willing to be.
I'll give it a 2 as well.
All right, 2 it is.
Did I fix this fucking thing?
We have an agreement.
It looks like I fixed it.